All right, guys, flipping houses. A lot of people think, whenever they think flipping houses, they think HGTV style flipping. No, flipping is one of the best ways to build capital, to grow your portfolio on the rental side even more. Today, I'm gonna give you all a complete guide to flipping here in Temple, Texas. Let's get right into it. All right, so first of all, I have to say, this is for the investors who are looking in kind of the Temple Belton area, Killeen, Harker Heights. What works in Austin is not gonna work as well here. Actually it's like a completely different ballpark, really. It's like Austin, I would say, is more the HGTV style flipping. Here it's a lot different. You have to flip with the comps. So let's start off with locations. Where can you find flips and what kind of style are these homes, right? So the top locations for flips in my mind is number one is gonna be like that Canyon Creek, South Temple area. There's a lot of homes there that haven't been updated. They need updates, but they're, slab, foundation, brick homes that are great options for a flip. And they're also great because these first-time home buyers want to buy in that price range. The other, one of the other good ones that I like is getting into the kind of that hospital district. That's especially good to have a lower kind of entry price point, and you're gonna get maybe a lower return, but if you're like a first-time flipper, I would recommend there because you can get maybe a 3-2 or a 2-1 for like under 100,000 bucks. A 2-1 for under 100,000. Flip it. I just had a client, there's a video on my channel. She got hers for 70,000. After repair value, 150,000, and the rehab is like 30,000. So she actually, if she was to flip it, she's not flipping it, but if she was to flip it, she'd make a pretty decent profit. All right, the next one is where I'm at right now, the historic district. The historic district is great because you can find some properties in really good condition, and there's a high upside. There's a flipping team that does like upscale flips, and they get a good return. Once you get to the upscale flips though, in the Temple Belton area, you have to really know what you're doing. I always tell people, look, be in that median price range. You wanna be at the end of the flip, you wanna be around, after repair value, 215, all the way up to like 265. That way you have more buyers. But the historic district is great, and you can get a great return and a good deal for a flip. Then after that, they kind of vary. There's East Temple, you can get some good deals in East Temple. It's gonna sit on the market longer. You're not gonna get a really high after repair value, which is good too, but also there's more risks involved in that location with days on the market and, just finding buyers. Then you have kind of it's like the Western Hills area, which has it's a great one because it's kind of like Canyon Creek where they have the slab brick homes, but the problem with that area is there's a lot of foundation issues. So some of these homes, maybe you don't see it, maybe the seller didn't disclose it, but look, you're gonna have foundation issues on the resale. Like you've had it for 6 months and you already got cracks coming up. So that's just a risk that you have to be aware of. And if you're working with me, you're gonna be aware of it. All right, let's keep going. Deal sourcing. So I just had a client from like Ohio. He was like, we don't really list homes here. We just, it's all like off market stuff. So here, our wholesalers, they have a very large database of California, New York buyers. They're not really great deals, honestly. Sometimes you can find a good deal from a wholesaler, especially if it's like an individual like myself. I'll get deals from time to time. I hit the pre-foreclosure list. I drive around sometimes, and normally I'm just driving around and I see a property. I'm like, I'm gonna give them a call. But that's one of the main ways to source a deal. And then the MLS. I have had a lot of clients have a lot of success on the MLS with doing flips. You just have to know the numbers, and you have to be ready to pounce on the right deal, because if you limit the locations that are gonna be good flips, you already have limited inventory, and then you have to find one that needs sufficient work to get a deal. So everything kind of has to fall in the right place. But if you're working with me, you're gonna know about this, right away. And then if it works for your numbers, that's great. We're gonna be the first ones on it, I guarantee it. Which leads me to the numbers. What are people buying at here? So in this market, I try to have like in Temple Belton, I'll try to have like a 15% profit on the deal. So probably I'll buy 80% after repair value minus the repairs, and then that's probably what I'm gonna put for an offer, because that's kind of what people are buying at right now. You know, wholesalers, those wholesalers, like the big ones, they'll sell it for 85% minus repairs, but I think 80% minus repair is a great deal. 15% profit, you know, that's a great base hit. I know you got like 5% wiggle room, but you know, there's 5% expenses in there. So 15% is a great base hit. You can start really growing, because you're gonna get deals. If you do 80% minus repairs, you're gonna get deals that are gonna start adding up. You're gonna start making some serious money, rather than just waiting for the 70% minus repairs, sitting on the sideline and then never doing anything. So that's why I say I think 80% minus repairs is a great, you know, number to buy at in this market. All right, and then you have to kind of think about yourself. What are you comfortable with? You comfortable with doing, you know, foundation repairs? Are you comfortable with doing, you know, AC, full AC replacement or full AC installation, because it didn't even have it before? You know, electrical, some of the places that I mentioned, like here, the historic district and then the hospital district, they can sometimes have really old wiring. You have to do like a full wiring replacement. But listen, if you have to do the AC, they're gonna have to do the electric anyway. So yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal, because you're not doing it. I mean, it's a contractor doing it. There are more things that can come up though while you're, you know, doing these, especially with the AC, because you have to have an inspection every single time. So you have to make sure your contractors are, you know, doing the right thing and doing it by the book, which if you work with me, you're gonna have a contract. I'm gonna get you set up with everything you need, but you know, still something to think about, and it's gonna increase the time that you own this property, because you have to wait for these inspections and they have to pass and everything. So, you know, it does take more time for sure. Okay, Temple Belton, where do you spend the money on a flip, right? So you're gonna be likely selling this to a first-time home buyer. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers. They are very worried about the AC, the big ticket items, the AC, the electric, the plumbing, the foundation, stuff like that. So you want to make sure that all of those are very in good condition. I would say if you're gonna replace anything, make sure those look new or are new, because that's very important. Then after that, you kind of start going after the cosmetic stuff, which the cosmetic stuff here, if you're doing like this, the typical flip, you're not gonna spend a bunch of money. You know, I normally run my numbers with $250 per square foot on the flooring. You know, maybe like, we're gonna do some examples here. I'm actually gonna give you all some live numbers in this property. All right, so this kitchen, first of all, this house is not in bad condition. You would think it's significantly worse with this price point. You know, I think this will go to a first-time home buyer or something, step-up buyer with a bigger family with a lower budget. Countertops need to be replaced. You know, with this amount of countertop, I'd say, even if you used to do like granite countertops, it's gonna be like 30 grand, but you could also do quartz countertops in this location. But it's also why you wanna work with a realtor, because you gotta know what type of finishes to do, you know, because like these aren't, if you're gonna do 385,000, these cabinets aren't gonna cut it either, you know. You're gonna have to get new cabinets. That's gonna be another 5 grand at least, probably, because there's a lot of cabinets in here, maybe like 6 grand even. Nice backsplash though. Probably gonna have to put appliances in. A lot of like these, I like those. Those are nice. And then the flooring. This flooring is jacked up here, and it's not that high end. If you're just keeping it, you know, you don't have to change it. But on a flip, depending on what after repair value you're going for, you're gonna have to change maybe that, definitely this floor. I mean, this is not gonna cut it for flip. This is that old square tile flooring. For something in this area, I always recommend like the $3 per square foot floors, because it's gonna be an easier sell, and you have more of a likelihood of getting that 385 after repair value. Okay, the other thing I see a lot of on flip homes is this paneling. I don't like the paneling, I always remove it. Oh, and the ceiling tile, oh, that's horrible. Ceiling tile and popcorn ceilings I hate. But I say all of this, definitely this ceiling tile needs to be taken off and put drywall. And then probably behind this, I mean, if it were my flip, I would definitely take the paneling out, put drywall. It looks better to me. And then paint. So paint, I say like $1.5 per square foot. And then for this drywall, sometimes it's hard to tell. I'd say that's gonna be another, like this is a bigger home, so probably like 4,000, 4,000 or 5,000. My guys do it pretty cheap, but for a big home like this, I mean, let me see. Some of the places don't need it. Maybe for just this living area, like 1,500 to replace the ceiling part. 2,000, we'll say 2,000. And then it's gonna need to be painted probably all the way around. These floors honestly do not look bad to me. It depends on the after repair value, and it kind of depends on your goals of the place, but that's why you work with me, guys. Listen, I gotta get this outro here. You're not gonna spend a lot of money on the cosmetic rehab because you are going to price this flip with the rest of the comps in the area, and normally you're not seeing like really high-end comps depending on where you flip. Like for example, I did the numbers on this one. After repair value is like 385,000. This is 2,900 square feet, listed at 230,000. I'm probably gonna do like a deal analysis at my house after this. I'm about to go to an appointment, but I'm gonna do a walkthrough real quick and give y'all some numbers. All right, the other thing is that a lot of flippers, they do not know about this rule. FHA has some weird rule about them. You have to wait 90 days before it'll even qualify for FHA. So if you're gonna do like a quick rehab or just buy it and flip it, you have to keep that in mind that maybe you're not gonna be able to go FHA on this property because they won't accept it. And then there's like a profit rule, which I don't think anybody's gonna really run into. It's like, 100% profit or something. I don't know the exact rule, but that is a rule and you should be aware of it if you're doing flips. All right, financing the flip. If you are 100% certain you're going to flip this property, I would always recommend hard money because it's just better. You can buy it cash. They're not gonna do an appraisal. You can put the offer as cash, so you're gonna get a better deal. It normally makes sense to use the hard money loan, but you can also do, conventional, DSCR. You can do whatever loan you want, but I always recommend hard money loan. Best way to finance a flip. And also, they're not gonna be mad about you selling it. Some people, I think lenders, they're not gonna be too happy about it, but we'll see. Let's get into these numbers. Guys, I am constantly on these deals every single day. I gotta go to another appointment. If you have questions about doing a rehab in the Temple area, I'm happy to give my recommendations. I'm happy to give contractors. I am the first one on these deals, I promise you. If you're going to invest in Temple, Texas, please reach out to me. I'm helping investors just like you every single day grow their portfolio. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let's get it.